You know, so in a nutshell, finally, let's reflect. Like I said, now we're going to talk about heaven and hell. Okay? Relationship to God is life. But what I want you to understand is that even after you die spiritually, you know, the opposite of God, when you die spiritually, everything that God is not, that's what you become. You know, God is joy, God is peace, God is, prosperity, God is health, God is enjoyment, He's comfort. The devil has none of that. When you're spiritually dead, you have none of that. No peace, no joy, nothing. Even though in the earth realm, we think because we have good experiences, we have pleasant experiences, but that's because in this middle ground, this physical earth, God still allows men to have those experiences, to have gifts such as music, things like that, to help them along. And He's made it so they have experienced some of His blessings. Because when Adam and Eve ate of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, notice it's the knowledge of good and evil. So in this world, you're going to see good and evil, light and darkness. Originally, God made the world to be all light. It was supposed to be light and darkness. Not light and darkness, but that's why in the beginning when God created this world, He said He was going to separate the light from the darkness, but He didn't get rid of the darkness. Why? Because He knew Adam was going to accept darkness. So because He knew He was going to do that, He allowed it to be night, He allowed it to be separate, and He allowed the darkness to stay there. And He allowed there to be a sun for the day and a moon in the night. So it's never total darkness. And this is the truth about the world we live in. We never have total darkness until tribulation. There's always some light, but there's always some darkness too. So we can't have all light because Adam chose in the beginning, and that he was going to have some light and darkness when he chose the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now, but this world is a realm in between two realms. Heaven is one realm. Now I'm talking about space. Space is what you call the second heaven. First heaven is called the firmament, which is the sky. And the third heaven is what I'm talking about, the spiritual realm called the third heaven, which is so far beyond natural space you can't even see it unless God were to give you a vision. Even with the telescopes, they can never see it, and they couldn't see it anyway because it's in a spiritual dimension. It's in a whole other dimension. Now, science has proven that even in space, the second space, that there are other dimensions. They have found those other layers of reality, such as a black hole. You even look at a black hole, you see that it sucks all physical light into the center and nothing escapes. And it goes into a whole nother realm of space, a whole nother realm of reality. This is scientific. So, but you can only see so much of science. You can't see the whole picture because everything you're using is physical. Physical, devices and your intellect and your senses, but you can't really see. But the spiritual realm is very real. Now, heaven is one place, hell is the other place. Right now, hell is located in the center of the earth. The hell just means hole or cavern. Now, we know that hell is a place that has fire and brimstone, it has worms, it has smoke, and they're tormented day and night, all the time. It screams constantly, and the demons that torment people, all that's down there. But the earth, as we know, heaven is paradise, it's perfect, but the earth is the middle ground. So what I'm saying is, this is the place where we can choose, because we see enough of the light of God on earth, like heaven. That's why Jesus said, pray that my kingdom come, my will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Because what God was saying is He wanted the earth to be like heaven. He wanted His will to be done. But we had to pray for that. Well, why do we have to pray for His will to be done like heaven in His own world? Well, because it's not His world right now. It's His earth, yes. But the system that is in operation is not operating in God's way of doing things. The system in operation now is in operation because Satan was given the world through Adam. Adam gave him the world when he ate that fruit, when he decided to disobey God. He unknowingly Well, not completely know him, but he knew enough that when he did that, God told him he would die. So when he chose to do that, he separated himself from God. And by separating himself, he empowered the devil because he made Satan his God by listening to his voice over the voice of God. Okay? Stay with me. Now, hell is a place where everything goes the way the devil wants it to go. Everything is the way the devil is. Pain, suffering, merciless. You know, like all the rapes and all the diseases, all the murders, Hitler, all the, horrible tortures like Vlad Tepes impaling people through their behind and all that stuff. All of that stuff, all the sexual perversions, that came from Satan. But you only have so much of that here. But it's not going on all the time. See, in hell, there's no restraint over him because he's the God over that world. Because those angels and those creatures decide they want to make him their God. And that's what you do when you deny the one true God, either through idol worship, religions, or any of these ways the devil has come to you. You're really making him your God. And you're telling God, the real God, I don't want you. I don't need you. I'm going to be my own God. I'm going to listen to the devil. Blah, blah, blah. So hell is a place where everything happens the way that he wants it to. Now this is what God is calling death. Because even though they still exist, they're not really living. Because none of them exist in the purpose that he created them to do. They only exist to torment one another. Because they can't do anything else. Because without God's hand of mercy, without his guidance as the creator, guiding us, showing us the way, we can't do it on our own. It's just like when you have an intersection with no lights. Well, everybody's going to go on their own when they feel like they should go, and guess what? There's going to be accidents. If everybody is left to their own whim long enough, and you start saying, well, I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to go on my own. I don't need anybody to tell me. Then, well, who is right? Well, who's supposed to go first? Okay. Well, that's why you need a light there to tell them, you go first. You go first. And even in our society, if you don't have a light, they've taught people you're supposed to go first and this person's supposed to go first. But what if they were never taught that? What if their just nature was just, what if they just left them up for them to just do whatever they want, whenever they want, just go whenever you felt like. Everybody would just be boom, boom, boom. That's what used to happen before they had street lights. There's all kinds of accidents and stuff. So anyway, that's what it is. That's why it's called lawlessness. Without a law, to govern. Whatever God's law to govern, to tell us right and wrong, there's no right and wrong. There's no, and in this society, they turn it into that you have no, that's freedom to say there's no right and wrong. That's the way to be free. No, that's foolishness. Even when you're free, you still have to have laws that govern. Even when you're running down the street, there's a law helping you run, like gravity. There's a law of how your motors are moving, your body, your bones are moving, and all that stuff. There's laws that keep those things in order, so you can even run. And you don't know how many laws it takes just for you to run down the street. You're not aware of them, but they're there. There's laws that govern oxygen. There's laws that govern how the sun, moves and everything. The law of gravity. God put all those things there. And without those laws put in place, nothing would work. It would be total chaos. But that's exactly what it is like in hell. And it's the opposite in heaven. Everything's perfect. Everything's run according to the laws of God. But then God, with every law, he gives freedom. So he has freedom and order perfectly interwoven. It's just like when you have a fish tank, you lay out the fish tank, you put the barriers there, you put the walls up, you put it together, and then you put the water in there, and then you put the fish in there. You don't put a fish on the ground before you put the the tank together. But how much more fun are they having if they have a tank that's been put in order, and then they can go in there and swim around? But that's the way it is with God's creation. He put everything in order, then he put us in the tank. And that's what he did with us. And so, continue that next time.